Hello and welcome everyone. I'm so excited to introduce you today's topic. The topic of today's webinar, fun meets function, interactive emails that engage. So we are going to talk about interactivity in email marketing and challenges around there. So let me also introduce myself. My name is Alexei. I'm the customer support representative at Stripe service. And I also want to show you a few bullets here, what we are going to learn. So briefly, the next 10-15 minutes, we are going to talk. So that's a bit theory around the topic. So why interactive email marketing increases engagement and conversions? That's the first bullet. The second, we're going to talk about challenges of utilizing interactivity in emails and Stripe's solution. And with those two, with the third and first, we are going to put that into practice. I will show you how you can how you can create the game and without any coding skills. So completely and absolutely no coding needed. And also we are going to talk about fallback version, which so we will divide that notion into three different categories. Okay, so let's talk about why interactive email marketing increase engagement and conversions. Collect valuable data naturally. So when recipients may interact with something directly within the email, for the recipient, it becomes not just passive scrolling down. This is something that he can interact with. And for you, it might help to gather meaningful data and on user preferences, behaviors, and feedback. Second, boosts engagement and open rates. So that's also absolutely true. Once opened, interactive content keeps readers around much longer than a standard email. The next one skyrockets conversions and ROI. So I will show you with some visual references for e-commerce. For example, we can compare promo email, just the common one, with the gamified email. As you can see, so this is some kind of average numbers, but they the numbers are higher for the emails with gamified elements within. The same, we have visual reference for SaaS products. So we have some statistic here. As you can see, the numbers slightly different, but also for gamified holiday newsletter, they are higher. The click to open rate higher, open rate, STR also is higher. And finally, for educational platforms, so some of them noted that games like Wheel of Fortune, this is the game where recipients can earn discount, so yield a 27% higher click to open rate. So as you can see, the gamification within the emails very, very beneficial. Okay, the next one makes your emails stand out. Uh, Absolutely, that interactive elements help like make your brand instantly more memorable. And the last here but not least adds emotion and fun. We can talk and about some kind of emotional connection because gamification taps into curiosity, motivation, and the joy of reward. And that's the reason why the email turns from just another message into something user actually want to open and explore. However, um, honestly, there are some challenges around utilizing interactivity in emails and Stripe's solution. So I want to, after we talk about challenges, I'm also going to show you the solution that might help you to achieve the great result. Well, what we believe that gamification holds immense potential in email marketing, but its adoption rate isn't quite what it could be. And we believe that there is 4 reasons why. The first one, email gamification requires coding skills. Next, designing games is time and cost consuming as a result. The third, some systems are not yet ready for gamification. And finally, it is difficult to measure the effectiveness of gamification. Let's briefly talk about each of that each of that bullet. Email gamification requires coding skills. So let's say that interactivity within emails achieved by using a certain approach or a certain dialect, let's say. And there are a few of them. Maybe you are familiar with AMP HTML. Let me tell you this, that AMP HTML by itself is a bit complex, big topic with a lot of nuances. And to cover this topic, that's not an intention for today's webinar, since we do have already a lot of materials related to AMP HTML. We do have webinars, articles, even we have book. So a lot of materials that can help you to understand this topic. But what I'm trying to say for now, at this stage, that AMP HTML, this is a specific approach or specific dialect which which provides you with different techniques, and final recipients might see visually different games, okay, but under the hood there are similar techniques that can be used. So, and those techniques in different combinations allows you to create different games. But as I said, AMP HTML, this is a stand-alone topic. Okay, so for now we have to know that this is one of the approach that can be used. The next one, another dialect or another approach, HTML5 and CSS3, it can be considered as advanced HTML and CSS. So finally, you will have a similar game comparing with the AMP version. So even if they might look the same, but another techniques used for this approach, for this dialect. We also will check how that looks, and we will talk about nuances when we want to use this particular approach. Okay, and also we can say that HTML5 and CSS3, this is interactive fallback. So this is like another name for this approach. Okay, and very soon you will understand what do I mean. When we talk about support for interactivity in emails, so if you have AMP element within email client, within email, only those 4 email clients will support receiving. This is only, around 30% of the email client market share. And if you rely solely on AMP for your gamified emails, that means that around 2/3 of your recipients won't be able to engage with the games. So that's important to keep in mind that only those 4 email clients do support receiving. Also, there is some nuances related to HTML5 and CSS3. As you remember, we can also call it interactive fallback. So that dialect supported by the following email clients: Apple Mail, Samsung Mail, and Thunderbird. Okay, that's not covers all subscribers. So there is a big chance that half of your recipients won't be able to engage with your games when you have interactive fallback. That means that no matter which dialect you choose, there is a good chance that some of your subscribers will not be able to experience gamification. So this is exactly the point in today's webinar, where we have to talk more about fallback solution. We can break and put that notion into 3 buckets: static fallback, interactive fallback, and web version. The static fallback talk for itself, so we're just going to skip it for now, and let's consider a web version, since we're already familiar with this notion and how that can be achieved. So a web version for all other recipients, what do that means? That means that if when you have AMP HTML, you have interactive fallback, and you have a static fallback with an embedded link, and when recipient click to the gamified element, he will be smoothly redirected to the web version, and probably will play the game, or for example leave the feedback. So this is exactly the approach that we can recommend you to follow, and soon we check how Stripo tool can help you with that. Okay, designing games is time and cost consuming as a result. That's completely true. So this is not a quick process, and you need a programmer or seasoned coder who know how to deal with those different dialects, who can adjust and maintain and separate the versions for desktop and mobile. So generally speaking, it's a bit complex. That might be a bit complex to finalize such game and adapt for various email clients. The next one, some ESPs and CRMs are not yet ready for gamification. What does it mean? It means that if you want to enable the recipients to see your gamified elements, your chosen ESP needs to support both AMP and HTML5 and CSS3. But unfortunately, a lot of them does not support AMP or interactive fallback. So, for instance, if I use Gmail, I have a Gmail account, but for instance, you going to send through the ESP, which does not support sending AMP content. It means that I, as a Gmail user, and Gmail conditionally support AMP, still I will not be able to interact with gamified email, and I will see just a fallback version. So, and also that's like what this is about the solution, okay, which can involve considering both dialects, and the version also should be included. Okay, the next one. It is difficult to measure the effectiveness of gamification. So, as we know, for HTML5 and CSS3, the core principles of tracking remains the same as for regular emails. Okay. Also, most platforms that send AMP emails will assist you in tracking the performance of the AMP version of the email, but it might be slightly difficult to track performance of a web version. So okay, I think that's enough about talking about theory. It's the good place to put that into practice and show you Stripos tool. So on the main web page, under the product you and helpful tools, you can find gamification for emails. Let me tell you that this is a standalone tool, free of charge, that belong to Stripos ecosystem. But for you to be able to use these gamification modules and to generate a few games for you, you do not need to have a Stripe account. So you can come here, do the job, take the code, and utilize in any other builder or something. So what I'm trying to say that you do not need to have a paid subscription or even Stripe account to generate the game. That's what is absolutely awesome. So if you, someone like me, and you need to have a visual reference, you need to stay longer with material, I definitely may advise you to scroll down and to have this section reading materials that you can check and you can read more about the tool or specifically about a certain element. Okay, but let me show you what element should we start with. Okay, this is the Wheel of Fortune, one of my favorite. Let's consider how you can utilize this one. What is amazing about this tool that everything is intuitive, and we already have some default settings here. We can change the template or even customize the layout, but for now let me just keep it the Easter one. I want to show you the idea how exactly you can do that and what steps is needed. And what I do like about this tool that you can just utilize the user interface to understand how to change and modify the game. I can switch between desktop version and mobile here. Okay, and let's just click on the button and see what happens. Okay, I have some emoji, and as you can see, I have it might be the discount code or promo code or something, whatever you need. Okay, this emoji came from the sector third, so it means that I can change that data. I can change this field or just add any other information. I can also add a new sector if needed, or easily delete if I do not need few of them. And let's disable duration in seconds. So because as you can see that the wheel is going to stop automatically, I want to disable this. Add the button stop the wheel that allow me have more control, and I can click when I want. This emoji from another sector, so from the first one. So as you can see, this is the way how you can control that appearance, what information should be added to the wheel. Also, I can check the interactive HTML. So as you can see visually, you have the same element, but those achieved by using different approaches. Fallback, this is the static element, and please be aware when you choose here, you do not have the pointer. So the fallback might behave and looks slightly different. Okay, let me switch back to the AMP HTML. So, okay, let me tell a few words about completion screen. This one is a bit more complex, and probably I'm just going to skip it for now. This is not too difficult, but a bit more complex. So just let's keep it simple for this webinar. You can generate a fallback message according to your preferences, or it will be generated automatically. So let's choose this automatic version. Even more, I can play with the appearance. Let me show you one more time where I have clicked. So here on the right top corner, the appearance button, clicking on which I see another possibility here. I can choose another layout for the wheel itself, or I can add images and customize the sector design. Also, I can check hover the information icon and check the requirements. We can play with pointer position. One more time, if we will switch to the fallback, I will not see the pointer. Okay, so let me keep it left. We can change the pointer itself. As you can see, also we can customize and add some custom image. And play with the styles which is related to start or stop buttons. Okay. After, we have to save on the right top corner, not this one. This is another button responsible for another action. For now, we have to click here. Okay. Perfect. So when everything is set together, the element is ready to be exported, we have to click on the save button here. There is few options. The first one, I can send the code for myself and click here. So the system will send me the email with the code, or I can even copy the code from here. You can download it or copy directly from this window. So let's click into that button, and we have a small instruction how to do that. Let me show you this approach when we need to copy paste the code. So I'm going to jump into my Stripe account. Create new message. Just we'll choose empty layout. Then we have to, okay, I will give the appropriate name, test1 for instance. Then we have to choose the Stripe, open the code editor button, delete, paste the needed code, and click apply the code. As you can see, the module is within the email. However, if you have a Stripe account, you may follow another approach. Just click this button, save. This automatically will create email with the correspondent name, Wheel of Fortune. So you do not need to do that actions with copying and pasting the code. We can open that email, and also the system will create a module. As you can see here, I also have a module which I can drop in any other template. So I can check what that module means, some information, and we can drop it somewhere in the editor. As you can see, the editor give me a prompt where I can do that. Okay, just let's keep this one. What is important, this one is related to AMP HTML, and this one is interactive fallback. I do not see the static fallback with embedded link within the editor. The next step, what I can do, I can click to the preview button. This is the first place where I can interact with the module. So I can see the AMP HTML, okay, and can play the game on the preview. I can switch to the HTML. This one is related to interactive fallback. but the result is the same. Okay. The next step, let's try to test with the real email client. So from the preview, I'm going to send a test to myself, to my Gmail. Just a second. Okay, this is the new test. Okay, let me open it. Previously, I've enabled receiving content. That's why I can play with the game directly here in my Gmail account, as you can see. But let me intentionally disable that in the settings. So dynamic email, I want to disable that option, save changes. And delete this version. Okay. And let's send one more test to the same, exactly the same Gmail account. But when I disable receiving interactive content, I will have another result because Gmail do not support interactive fallback. Clicking on the game, I will be smoothly redirected to the web version. As you can see, this is how the fallback, static fallback with embedded link works. Once clicked, I redirected to the web version, and probably I'm going to click to the button. Why? Because I'm curious. So that's interesting. And I can also interact with the I can interact with this element. Okay, this is exactly the idea. Okay, I'm going to enable one more time because I will show you some other elements. So I have to do that again. The intention was to show you how the embedded link work with the static version. That's it. That's it. How you can play with the how you can create the game, then using the tool have separate template within your account, or you can get access to the code and use it somewhere in third-party service. That's how that can work for you. Okay, good. Let me jump back to that tool. And also I'm going to show you the feedback form. Let's consider NPS survey. The idea is very similar. Okay, so we have a switcher here. We have AMP interactive HTML fallback. We have the appearance button. So user interface, very intuitive, and pretty much the idea is very similar. I have a question. I can change it. This question related to this field. I can add questions. There is different layouts here. Also, we can choose some other option for number scale. Also, we can have those values, as you can see here. Okay, we can disable that. That's completely according to your preferences. And we have a submit answer button here. Well, that's how that look on this stage. Now let's try to choose the image. which user recipient will see after submitting. We can change some information here, the title, but let's keep it as it is. And also, I want to show you this, how to collect data, how to collect responses. This a bit complex topic as well. I just will show you the flow, how to add and how to collect. But if you do not know what I'm going to talk about, when I mean about how to collect responses, I definitely can advise you to check the dedicated article, or please do not hesitate to write to us, send us an email, and we will be more than happy to assist you. But for now, let me just keep it very simple. We have a link, let's say endpoint. When someone submits an answer, the system will send those responses, and you can have those data. But we need to, this is the default link. You can change, you can even create your own endpoint. But with that stage, Stripo account can also help you. Let me show you what do I mean. Within the Stripo account, you have a data tab. There is two of them, service and source. We need service. It is very simple. Create the new one. Let's give a webinar test. Let's give the name. And this will be the identifier. We have to copy that link. Just do that here. Jump back into our tool and replace the link. Okay, so then we can add the merge tag. This one should be related. So I want to collect and see who exactly left the feedback. Okay, so I can add the name merge tag, and we'll add the merge tag here. That one is related to the system that Stripo sends test emails through. That's merge tag related to Yes Sputnik. But if you use, for example, any other Klaviyo, MailChimp, HubSpot, etc. system, that won't going to work. You need to have exactly to check the merge tag with your system through which you send in your emails. Okay, so I take this one. I've add this one here, and let me save. And I also will save this form within my Stripe account. This is just more convenient for me. Let me open that. As you can see, within the account, it looks pretty much the same. I have AMP version, I have HTML version, and let's send a test. I want to show you how you can collect the information. Okay, it should be here. Great. Let me submit. Okay, live 5 and submit answer. You see the image, that one we chose before, the title that also we didn't change, but you can. Okay, so now if I've done everything properly within my Stripo account, I have to refresh this page and I can download the data. The CSV file has a certain name, so you can completely control. Probably the best option is to name it the same as your email. Let's open. That's as you can see, I have the number, what I've choose, submission date, and I have the email address. So that's how it works. If that's a bit complex, please have a look the correspondent article. Let me show you one more time. Dedicated article that you can check and understand the idea. But endpoint can be your personal. Okay, good. So let's try to briefly check some other game. Okay, the memory match. This one is interesting. Also, I'm going to show you with default information. Okay, the general idea is completely the same, but the how that work, we can set up number of cells, but that's perfectly fine. This default option, we can change images here. So according to our preferences, but let's try to understand that. Okay, this one is good, this one is good, this one is good. After I see some information here, so that also might be your some discount or promo or something, and you also will have AMP, interactive HTML fallback. You can play with appearance and save it as I showed you previously. Okay, let's try to check another one, the questionnaire, for example. This one also absolutely adorable game. So as you see, we have questions, 4 of them. So the question 1, question 2, question 3, question 4. Exactly 4 questions. We can add other questions. Okay. So the question itself, then we can change that image. So as you can see, I can add another image. Also check the requirements one more time. I can play with answers. If I need to make another one as a correct answer, I can do that, as you can see. But let's keep it with the default value. You can add some answer in explanations if needed. For example, if the answer is correct, in this case, it's the first option. Let me choose it. As you can see, I have some certain pop-up here. Also, I can add the pop-up if the answer is incorrect. And I have the dedicated part for the second one, so can also adjust and set up information. And that's it. So what I want to tell you one more thing, that you do not need to check, to test. You do not need to send, to do all that stuff around. You can do that directly here in the in this tool. So I can play exactly here and proceed with sending and testing once everything is look as I want it to be. Also directly here, I can play with the fallback and it will do exactly the same when your recipients receive the email. So if I click to certain option, I will be redirected to the web version of that email, as you can see. So now you see only the gamified element itself, but definitely you can have a header, some content part, and then a footer at the end. Okay, good. Let me jump back here, and probably I will show you one more feedback. So let's choose this one, poll. So this is the way how you can gather meaningful feedback from your users. Also, I'm going to show you with the default settings. So that's exactly clear. The question from the setting related to this one, I can add new question by clicking on that green cross button, uh, play with buttons, and so we can also change the image here and add the endpoint. But for example, if you are going to use different techniques, it is better to add different links. It will help you to, to understand which campaign relate this link related to. So, and you can easily create the new one in the Stripe account. So, and then your recipients may choose a certain option. They can have a few questions, and that's how they can play and interact and click on submit button. So as you can see, there are a bit more games, but I think that's it for today's webinar. I do not want to make it too long. Some of them are coming soon. Me personally and the support team will be more than happy to assist you if you will have any questions, if you need assistance with a certain technique. So please do not hesitate to message us, to send us an email. And it was a pleasure to introduce this topic for you. And thank you very much for your time. If you stay with me so long and so far, thank you very much. Have a nice rest of your day. And let's keep in touch.